Hi, I'm Nikki Grimes, author of books like Meet Denetra Brown, Garvey's Choice, Words with Wings, and chapter books about Diamond Daniel. But today I want to share a poem that's not in any of those books. It's a poem about pineapple upside down cake. I know, it's so delicious. One of my absolute favorite cakes in the world. So here's your story. A few years ago, a friend of mine named Michael Rosen was putting together an anthology on food called Food Fight. And Michael asked me if I would write a poem for his anthology. Sure, I said, I'd love to. And then I thought, okay, a poem about food. Food. That's a really gigantic subject. There are so many different kinds of food. Where was I going to start? I wasn't really sure. And so I did what I usually do. I started making lists. First, I made a list of all the foods I love and all the foods I hate because we write best about things that we're passionate about. And then I thought about foods that I could associate with different holidays. What foods did I eat, say, for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter? And so then I wrote down those foods. Okay, what about seasons? And I thought about the summer, picnics. And I wrote down things like potato salad and fried chicken. And I thought about all the different foods that I would eat and things that I would drink during the summer. And I thought about ices because I love ices in the summer. Okay. And I thought about what I might eat for my birthday or July 4th. And I just kept adding to this list of foods, different foods for different reasons, for different occasions throughout the year. And finally, I had this whole long list of foods. And then I went back over it and I stopped at those foods that made me think of something in particular, that brought up a particular memory. And pineapple upside down cake always makes me think of my grandmother. And so I decided I would write a poem about my grandmother, who was the one who always made pineapple upside down cake for me. And I ended up with a poem called Pineapple Surprise. Grandma wasn't much for hugging. She was entirely too frail to give me piggyback rides and moved too slow for hide and seek. But sometimes, while I played alone, she would magically appear with pineapple upside down cake, which took considerable time to make. Honey glazed pineapple rings clinging to the bottom, or was it to the top? Maraschino cherries popping with tooth-tingling, tangy sweetness, 2 thick layers of buttery, gooey, scrumptiously chewy, pineapple-licious yellow cake baked for nobody else but me. Ooh, that was tasty. Now, that's not the last time I wrote about pineapple upside down cake. Recently, when I was working on my memoir, Ordinary Hazards, there were a lot of poems about my grandmother. And so once again, I was thinking about pineapple upside down cake. And so I wrote this poem. After my grandmother discovered my fondness for pineapples, this sweet knowledge became a weapon she wielded whenever she felt the need to express her love and regret. She'd go to considerable trouble to bake a pineapple upside down cake from scratch just for me, then would gleefully watch as I set aside my aloofness, my adolescent aloofness, long enough to devour several honey-soaked slices like someone starving. Sharing was not required unless I so chose. Those sticky cakes never quite made up for Grandma's lack of physical affection, but my belly happily accepted the substitute. I think there was one more poem in Ordinary Hazards about pineapple upside down cake, but I'll save that for another day. But now it's your turn. I want you to write a poem about food. Do exactly what I did. Number 1, start making a list of foods you love and foods you hate. 2, think about foods you eat during holidays like Thanksgiving, Easter, Passover, Christmas, Eid, whatever holidays you and your family celebrate. What special foods do you eat then? Write them all down. 3, think about foods you eat during different times of the year, like picnic foods for summer or roasted chestnuts in the winter. Write down all the foods you can think of. 4, once you have your list, go back over it and pick out one food that makes you remember something, that brings to mind a particular memory. For me, that was pineapple upside down cake that my grandmother used to make for me. 5, once you have that food and that memory, write a poem about it. Good luck and have fun, because that's what it's about. Till next time, bye.